The Royal Roads University Chancellors Community Recognition Award was created in 1998 to recognize the efforts of individuals and organizations whose actions or service has made a truly outstanding contribution to their community and to humanity. In addition to the award that they receive, the recipient's name is inscribed on a beautiful plaque, which is kept on display at Royal Roads University. Today it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Victoria Pruden, accepting this award on behalf of the Bridges for Women Society, the recipient of this year's award. Ms. Pruden, please come forward. Now you have to try not to get embarrassed while I tell everyone how wonderful the society is. The Bridges for Women Society transforms the lives of women who have experienced violence, trauma, and neglect. Bridges attempts to break the cycle of abuse through healing and employment. It has offered crisis intervention and advocacy, trauma counseling, mentoring, and unique employment training programs for women in a safe, non-judgmental environment for nearly 30 years. The Society was begun in 1988 by the founding mothers who aspired to create a community where women could feel safe to take on the challenges of changing their lives. They created a feminist agency that offers women who have survived abuse a place to rediscover their self-worth and value while exploring and planning their future, to give them some breathing space. Since its inception, Bridges has experienced growth and diversification in its programs and partnerships and has served more than 700 women over the past year. Gutsy and innovative, the team ensures that when resources are needed and programs are requested, they find a way to make it happen. Bridges is the first organization in Canada to recognize the effects of trauma on education and employability. It helps women improve their job readiness and build economic security, helping to free them from some of the impacts of trauma and abuse. Bridges uses trauma-informed principles in everything it does to ensure a healthy, safe place to heal. Bridges for Women is committed to dynamic community partnerships with organizations, agencies, and First Nations to offer a flexible and responsive programming, training, and resources. Their specialized programs empower women with the tools they need to overcome adversity and build resiliency, to build skills and obtain the academic upgrading that they need in partnership with Camosun College, to develop resources for newcomers in collaboration with the Victoria Immigrant and Refugee Centre Society, and to provide a culturally safe and specific face-to-face programs for women in their own communities, delivered in partnership with First Nations. Women praise the dedicated and determined team of registered clinical counselors, social workers, and career practitioners for providing the gift of confidence to move forward with their lives in a positive way. Here's what one participant said about Bridges. "It still feels like a miracle to me that I was able to find them, as it has genuinely been a life-changing experience. The counselors and facilitators have been such a bright light on my path to recovery." And of course, here at Royal Roads, one of our aims is to provide our graduates with a life-changing experience. So we appreciate very much what Bridges is able to do. For offering innovative programs to serve the survivors of abuse and for providing a safe place for women to reclaim their lives, I am very, very pleased to present the Bridges for Women Society with the Chancellors Community Recognition Award. Okay, I'm informed that the award is over to the far right-hand side of the stage. So Victoria, you can pick that up afterwards. All right.
Great. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to just introduce myself in two ways. I'm going to introduce myself first in one of the traditional languages of my people. I'm Aptugosan. I'm a Métis Nation member, originally from Saskatchewan. So, kasipiko kapuat pe suskotu esqueo nsika son. Igua kakisapwini ot nsqueo nsika son. Igua ka Saskatchewanik. Igua Aptugosan utsenia. So I just introduced myself to you in the two names that I've been given by our Aptugosan elders, who were relatives of Ms. Mackay, the first Indigenous degree earner in Canada that we heard about from Chancellor Kathy. So I am a graduate of Royal Roads University, just like you. And the experience of earning that degree through Royal Roads impacted my life, and it's certainly impacted Bridges for Women Society. And on behalf of our board of directors, our staff, and the tens of thousands of women who've graduated from Bridges for Women, we want to thank Royal Roads University for honoring Bridges with this Chancellor's Community Recognition Award for Fall 2017. We need our community to know about Bridges. We need our community to know about the impacts of violence and abuse and the importance of anti-violence work, the importance of addressing the impacts that happen after someone's been hurt in that way. An award such as this helps us, helps Bridges to achieve awareness and an opportunity for public education. Congratulations to all of you graduates today. Like I said, I'm an alumni, and I couldn't have imagined in 2004 when I was in your seat that I would have been on the journey that I've been on with Bridges and with my career. I was asked to integrate into my remarks today our thanks, and in this acceptance speech that I'm making, to add a little bit of motivation from the context of a graduate. So when I thought about the message that we want to give from Bridges and the thanks we want to give from Bridges, I thought about 4 words that have helped to bring us to where we are today, to continue to help women in need. And the 4 words that came to mind, or the 4 kind of values that came to mind, were love, goal setting, innovating, and risk taking. We're quickly approaching at Bridges our 30th year of helping women who've experienced barriers related to trauma, violence, abuse, and neglect. As mentioned, our agency was founded by very forward-thinking and visionary women who got together in this community, and we refer to those women as our founding mothers. They recognized that there were a unique set of circumstances that survivors of trauma experience, and that if we address those barriers, we could help women to change lives, to change their lives, to change their circumstances, to reclaim their self-esteem and their self-confidence, and concretely set goals and take steps forward to create economic security, health, wellness, and a sense of happiness in their lives for themselves and their children. I've been blessed to be associated with this agency for 17 years of its 29. I was very lucky to be mentored by the women that created our agency, and very lucky to help move Bridges forward on its journey today. The year that I became ED in 2012, Bridges for Women began operating in a privatized system with new corporate contracts to deliver social services. In the nonprofit world, as many of you know, I'm sure many of you work in the nonprofit societies and are my colleagues, we need to be masters of a lot of things. but running a business is not necessarily one of the skills required. We're in a changing landscape. At Bridges, we've still remained true to our feminist roots. We've remained true to a commitment to consensus decision-making. We're very committed to remaining trauma-informed and implementing an anti-oppressive code of ethics. We prioritize the values that we were founded on: kindness, being heart-centered, walking the path that was forged for us by the founders of the agency. We believe that love and learning together are fundamental for women to be able to change their lives. In that spirit, we serve hundreds of women each year on southern Vancouver Island, where we now have 3 storefront locations and 2 active employability programs on reserve. We created an online program to reach women in rural and remote areas. So we serve women who live on the southern Gulf Islands, Campbell River and northern Vancouver Island, Revelstoke, Salmon Arm, and surrounding communities. We've used technology to help us innovate our healing programs so that women who are living rural and remote can receive trauma counseling on the phone, by video conference, and do their healing work online in a remote classroom staffed by counselors. We've been very blessed to have a committed and talented team to do this work and support our clients in healing. We have a wonderful board of directors that supports our vision, our ability to innovate, and our decision to take risks in order to serve the women that need us. Our leadership team has been told many times over the past few years that our ideas wouldn't work, or those partners will never come to the table, or you don't have the skills and experience to make this happen. And I have to say with pride that as the first Indigenous executive director of this agency, when someone tells us that we can't do something, I think it's pretty much a guarantee that it's going to happen and it's going to be really good and help a lot of people. So in closing, over the years, we've set a lot of collective goals at Bridges. We've stayed committed to solving complex problems, to innovating and taking risks to ensure that Bridges keeps its doors open and that we're always available to help the women that need us. Our priority is helping women heal their lives, move forward and create economic security for themselves and their families. I just want to mention before I leave the stage our thanks for the community partners in this community and beyond, in particular our First Nations partners. We've delivered wonderful on-reserve programming at women's request in their own communities for Sayout, Sekum, Pakwachin, and Chianu, or Beecher Bay First Nations. We have a partnership with the Métis Nation and are delivering the first Métis-specific program of this kind in Canada. So, on behalf of Bridges for Women's Society, our staff, our board of directors, and our graduates, and myself as the ED, congratulations to all of you, and our heartfelt thanks again to Royal Roads University for bestowing this award to Bridges for Women's Society. Thank you. Kinano Skumplanawa.